We are here, January 19th. Hi, Brett.
Hello, Jins.
I
Hodge Jins.
like it. We're very excited about this episode. We have a very fun interview to share with I'm going to call them our friends now after the interview.
They're definitely
I feel
friends
like they're
now.
friends of the pod. Halogens, New Jersey guys. I don't even know how to, I mean, we talk about it in the episode. Like, I feel like just calling them like emo band is like not like,
They're a little more than that
right?
as we get into, but
Yeah, yeah,
I think it's safe
yeah.
to, at least for the purposes of our podcast, to categorize them as New Jersey emo for now, maybe.
All
I think
right.
they'd be okay with that
Yeah. New Jersey
for now.
Groove Emo, former jam band.
Former jam band. We were going to try to not
um,
bring up Fish, but Fish came up anyway.
yeah, we had a
Kind of.
rule to stop bringing up Fish every 10 seconds. And then they tell us that they used to like jam bands.
And my eyes lit up. And Nick
Just
was like mortified.
put $1 in the jar. The
Along with the
sample.
sample.
Yeah. um, we had a bunch of singles come out this week that I didn't know like any of these bands were coming out with singles,
Today
but
was just like a news dump. Like I couldn't even keep up with everything.
right? I
Like
didn't
good thing we're recording right now.
there's more that I didn't even listen to. Like
Boy
all right,
genius.
well, I'll just yeah, someone mentioned that to me. Should I know that band? I don't think I know
So
that
it's
band.
Julian Baker, Phoebe Bridgers, and oh no.
Uh
Oh no, I'm blanking on the third.
oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
Um
I'm a bad fan.
that's okay. I'll
It
keep listing
is
ones while you look this up, even though you're probably gonna
Lucy
bomb it.
Dacus. Can't believe I forgot Lucy.
Come on, man. Lucy in the Sky with Dacus. Um, we also had a new Fall Out Boy single come out.
With guitars.
Guitar. Ba, ba, ba. Very exciting.
Maybe they're back.
Maybe
Maybe.
they're back. The first 20 seconds or so, I was like, yeah, there's no guitar. Like, this is what I thought. And then all of a sudden, there's just guitar.
Sneaks up on you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. We'll get into it in a little. What else? Screaming Females put out a single that I think I listened to like 10 times in a row.
Welcome to Club Repeat.
Club Repeat. Yeah, that's where it's at. It was it was so good. We'll get into that too. I think those are the big ones. Also, Warriors put out a single, but I never really like listened to them too much.
I haven't either.
I feel like they've been on like a festival or something. Their name just seems very familiar. Um, yeah, I think that was it. Oh, and the Strokes put out a re-recording of Modern Age off Is This It? Um it's really not that different, but it's a great song, so like whatever.
That was it.
That was it. This is it. They put it out in the olden age, but now they had to write again for the modern age. Moving on. What'd you think of the Fall Out Boy single?
Pleasantly surprised, to say the
Right?
least. I really wasn't. I had very, very low expectations considering like they bash making guitar music, but now they brought it back. I mean, he was dressed up as a raccoon, I think, the whole music video, but he was there and he was playing, so it counts.
Wait, now was this the guitarist that wrote the book? Because I thought he left.
That would explain why he was in, why the guitarist was wearing a costume the whole video if he's not in the band anymore.
I could have I could have sworn he left. I don't even remember his name. I haven't really been on Fall Out Boy in quite a while. I
Which
used
is
to
fair.
I used to hear Fall Out Boy songs and not know they were Fall Out Boy songs because they're so different. And like I don't know, whatever. Like it's clearly working for them. But this song like is really well done. Like it flirts that line of like rock and pop like so carefully. I feel like if like the wind were to blow in either direction, it would be like a full-blown rock song or a full-blown pop song. Like they're really like walking it tightly. I
They
thought it was
took
cool.
like the old Fall Out Boy sound with the new and kind of meshed it together in a way that worked, which I'm hoping this new album is that and not just
This is like a
here's a song to
one-off.
get all the guitar people that hate us off our backs, while the rest can be a pop album, which is possible. But I don't know. I
Yeah,
raised my hopes a little.
yeah.
Hopefully they don't get crushed, but
I feel like they found a good middle ground with this song, so I think I would enjoy an album that was like this. And also like you could tell they're like a stadium rock band. Like this is a stadium rock
it's a
song.
stadium
Like
song.
even listen to it on headphones, I'm like, this feels like it would just be like blasted at an arena.
I'm guessing they're going to tour this album later in the year.
Yeah.
If it comes out in
Um,
March.
yeah, so then that would like be perfect for like a summer tour. Wow, March is like right around the corner. It's pretty cool. We've gotten like
Two
no
months
albums
away.
up until now. So I'm ready for that. Um,
And the music video was even more fun, but for reasons I caught barely, which was the book titles on the bookshelf of the opening scenes of the music video.
that was amazing. Like, as far as I'm concerned, you are the first person like in the world to discover that. In my world, anyway.
No one else is talking about it.
I went to the thread on Pop Punkers and no one had mentioned it yet. So, and that was it was up for like almost an hour,
Did you drop knowledge?
of course. Gotta get that sweet karma. But yeah, there were so many. So there were books on the shelf and they all had like good puns, which is Brett's specialty.
Right in my alley.
It must have been so fun to come up with these. So you had like Catch 182, um, of Modest Mice and Men was really good. What
Taking
was
back Sundays with Maury.
that one had me cracking up. That's a layup right there. The Weezer of Oz.
Good Charlotte's Web, which was what I caught originally. I was like, wait, did that really just say what I thought it said? Crime
Uh,
and Punishment at the Disco.
yes. And then there's The Giving Plain White Tea.
That was it. Yep.
Did you come up with any? I sent Brett homework to try and think of one or two. I
I
didn't
came
write them
up with
down though.
one, which was Fahrenheit some 451.
It's so good. Uh, I already forgot mine.
Or should it
Do you?
just be Fahrenheit some 41?
Yeah, I think Fahrenheit
I can
some
drop the five
41.
there.
Yeah, you don't need it. Mine was The Adventures of Huckleberry Finch.
There we go.
There it is.
Who might be back to buried in all these news stories
Really? I mean, if they just tore What Is to Burn,
again.
I
Yeah,
would go and be. Oh, what about Wuthering Hawthorne Heights?
that one works too.
Yeah, I just Googled like classic books. I don't actually really know that book, so not as I feel like I'm cheating, but still nailed it. uh yeah, okay. I could keep doing this. I'm gonna stop, but I don't want
We
to.
definitely kill a lot
Uh
of time coming up with these, but I don't think
an
our
hour long
listeners would enjoy
an
that.
hour long podcast of us just trying to think of book puns. Um well their songs are there. The Strokes re-recorded the Modern Age and they call it the Rough Trade version. So I listen to these back to back and the Rough Trade version is just like faster. It's a little faster and you can understand the vocals way better, but they still have like that cool like washed out effect that's like all over that album. The solo is exactly the same. Wow, 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 now, now. Yeah, I won't do the solo. Um,
How's it go?
but I don't know. It was cool. I don't really understand why they did it. I rarely understand why things get re-recorded if they're not like drastically different.
So I'm guessing this is a part of something they're releasing. If the album art says the singles volume 1.
Interesting. I don't know. Maybe it's a record label thing, as it's been for. Because what, that was 4 Year Strong and Taylor Swift did that, right?
Trying to get their masters back.
They just like were like, well, the label won't give us our songs, so we're just gonna re-record them, and then they'll be ours. I was trying to
Neat.
think of.
Oh, here it is. The Strokes announced new vinyl box set of singles. The
Huh,
singles volume 1 collects material from 2001 to 2006.
okay,
The collection will include B-sides, demos, and rarities.
sounds like a heartless cash grab.
Kind of seems that way.
Whatever, he can do what he wants.
Is this for
Wait,
something? Like, I'm very
he's
confused.
not the band you mentioned at the beginning. Is that, you said Julian Baker? What's the Strokes guy's name? Isn't it Julian something? It's not the same guy.
Different guy.
Different guy. Okay, making sure.
Julian Baker is a she.
Oh, excuse me. What's the Strokes guy's name? It's
Julian
definitely
Casablancas.
all right. All right. At least like I'm on the right first name. So I was trying to think of other songs that have been re-recorded in time. And the first one I thought of was Carousel by Blink, because that was on Buddha and on Cheshire Cat. And I think Cheshire Cat has the really long, cool intro. I don't think the Buddha one does, but I might be mixing them up. Do 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 do.
Yeah, I think that's the Cheshire Cat version, right?
Yeah, yeah, because like, why would you re-record it and make it shorter? I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of reasons. Um, there was also a Green Day song. Can you guess which one it was? It was on Kerplunk, which just turned 31 the other day.
Oh, Welcome to Paradise.
Yeah, nice, good job.
Thank you, sell out.
Some 41 had one too. That was on Half Hour of Power and All Killer No Filler.
Summer.
Nailed it.
I'm doing
And
good.
all right, last one, last one. Newfound Glory had one.
Hit or miss.
Yes. Good job, Brett. You answered all the questions. And
I get a
and the
copy
front
of the
bottoms,
Stroke singles volume 1.
the front bottoms have one. It's all the grandma EPs.
All of them.
um, yeah, I don't know. It was cool. Yeah, it was a fun reason to look up such a strange thing. But yeah, the song itself, like, not really any different, but whatever.
That comes out the end of February, February 24th.
All right. So if everyone wants to hear the songs that have already been out for a decade plus, get hyped.
I do
That
need to listen to their later stuff. I don't know anything post like 2003.
no, I was never like, I just really like Is This It? Like if I'm
Yeah,
gonna listen to Strokes, I just put on that album.
that's what I
And then
listen to
there's
too.
just like the random hits like Reptilia and stuff like that that like you still know.
1251.
Yeah, but like I don't know, for me, I never like deep dove them. I mean, one, two, three, four. They don't have like a ton of albums actually, but I just like Is This It? I don't know. I don't need to listen to
It
more.
was.
Then or the last we'll talk about anyway. Screaming Females, Brass Bell. This song is so awesome. I sent it to like everyone I knew, and half the people were agreed, and then the other half was like, "What is going on here?"
Well,
Song
the
is all
intro is
over
a
the
little
place.
hairy, but then once that riff kicks in, it's game over.
Yeah, but the intro is so cool. It's just like this long, like fuzzy synth intro that just gets louder and louder until you're like, what is going on? And then the song just kicks in at 30 seconds.
It's got to be track 1, I would think, on a new
Yeah.
album. I would hope at least,
Or side B.
or side B.
Probably track one. Um, yeah, it's It was so good when it spaces out at like 3 minutes. It just like has this like crazy open interlude, and then it comes back with like these palm mutes and drums, and then they stop and the guitar like rips this chord, but it sounds like it's like off in the distance. And it all comes crashing into a solo, and the bass is just like running all over the place the whole time.
I forgot how like much they shred and how good they are.
Really
I'm glad
good.
we'll have a new album that we can dive into soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna definitely listen to them a bunch this week. Because I only really know two albums by them.
I know the
Um,
one with the faces on it,
let's see.
which is
I know Rose Mountain and All at Once
I
are
think
like
it's
the
Rose
two.
Mountain.
They have they have more albums than the
Yep,
Strokes. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. 10 albums. See, that's it's not too much, but like it makes me intimidated. Like, oh, there was another two other singles this week that ties into this topic. Um, the Bouncing Souls put out two new songs. And they're another band that has so much music, and I feel like for some reason I missed them when I was younger. And I like everything I listen to by them. But when I look at their discography, I'm like, how can I become a fan of this band? Like it's impossible. It's too late.
not
So
too late.
then it's not too late. It's never too late. Shout out Adam Gollier. But no, I think I have to just stop looking at bands as like I have to like conquer the discography. It's like just find an album you like and listen to it, and like it doesn't have to be deeper than that.
It's like
And
what I
then
did with Fish.
jar. No, that ties in. They're another one though, where like it's such a daunting idea. It's like, how am I gonna like do this? But
That's why I never listened to them until friend of the pod Brian recommended a starting point.
and they're like New Jersey like legends, like darlings.
Oh, we're
Or
not talking about Fish.
no, we're talking about the Bouncing Souls.
Yeah, so how I spent my summer vacation, just start with that, and that'll be on repeat for like a week for you probably. And then go to Hopeless Romantic and the self-titled.
All right. I've listened to How I Spent My Summer Vacation a bunch because I've tried to get into them a bunch and then I get scared every time. But if there's one album I've listened to front to back, it's that one.
That one's still my favorite.
Yeah, because I recognize that album cover. It actually doesn't look like that many albums now that I'm looking at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
And Anchors Away is a decent one too.
14. It's a lot of albums. It's a lot of music.
I think I have a
Oh,
playlist I could share with you when I saw
summer
them live to
summer
prepare myself
vacation
for it.
is 34 minutes, so that's not it's not so bad. And one of these albums is a live album. All right, I should just listen to them and stop like worrying about how much music they have.
I actually have a playlist I could send you. I just found. So I'm gonna do this.
Oh, yeah, send it over. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make a rule right here on the podcast. If a band has over 10 albums, you're allowed to listen to a playlist to get into them. You don't have to listen to an album. You should listen to albums, but more than 10, you can start with a playlist. And then as you listen to the playlist, you see what songs come from where, and then use that to guide you. Boom,
Yeah, this is a great starting point for you.
strategized.
And I like that strategy.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm like a bad New Jersey music fan if I don't listen to the Bouncing Souls.
I'm having you prep now because if their summer tour date at the Pony is them and Anti Flag, I definitely want to go.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down. This is the year of seeing bands that I haven't seen before, so I'm down. Uh, what else do we have? It was a long I apologize. Oh, we've both been on a big Nirvana kick, which we'll
Thanks to
try and do a
finishing
little
part two.
quick. Because wait, say what?
Thanks to finishing part two finally on my
Yes,
part.
of GA Book Club Storyteller. Brett finished part two. A lot of Nirvana talk in part two.
and I've been down that rabbit hole ever since. But I think just like big picture with Nirvana, like I forget, like I this is my first deep dive in a couple years, and I just forget like how great they were. They really were like a shooting star. Like they shot out of nowhere, turned everyone's attention onto them, and then next thing you know, they were gone. And it was like
Like
a
bright and
span of
fast.
like 4 years. Yep, or 5 years. I forgot when Bleach came out.
It was recorded in like 89, 88 to 89, like January or December, January. So 89.
Okay, so like a 6 year window,
Yeah. Um,
unless you count like Nevermind as like the window starting
nah. Well, I guess as far as like them blowing
mainstream.
up, but the band's life was that 6 years, I guess. Yeah, Bleach is so good. It's
I was
so
listening to
good.
it like all morning.
Like, because Nevermind is so clean that when you go to these other albums, even in utero. Oh, question. In utero or in utero?
I think it's Utero.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe. I mean,
That's
it
Steve Albini production on that one.
it is a U. Yeah. Oh, also, Scentless Apprentice off that. So good. I remember hearing that in Lost way back in the day, and realizing that Nirvana had other songs than just the album Nevermind. But what I
That was
learned,
on Lost. That song.
yeah, in the last season, like Jack is like driving around in real life. Spoiler, they get off the island. Someone out there is like watching Lost for the first time. Like,
Just
motherfucker.
slamming their phone down right now.
But yeah, he has that like blasting in like his Jeep Wrangler or something. But Dave Grohl came up with the drum beat and the riff for that song. And it was the first song that he brought to the table, at least according to this, or the first song he brought to the table that Kurt was like, okay. And I think that's also part of like the disappointment in, what happened with Kurt and everything. Is that they were finally getting into like a collaborative space. So that would have been pretty cool to see.
Is this part three?
No, I just heard this on like a
Okay.
YouTube video.
I
I was looking up
was like,
just
oh
like
no.
no, I was watching just like short 10-minute documentaries on the albums because I wanted to know random stuff. But yeah, there's so much screaming on these albums from Kurt, especially Bleach, like School. Oh my God. So good. Just raw screams. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
so good. It's
And then
so good.
Dad's little girl is not a girl no more.
What'd you text me today?
Dad's little Nodge isn't a hick no more.
Like 10:30 on a Wednesday. These are the texts I get at work.
As I'm sitting at work listening to Bleach.
Oh, there was an interesting thing that I learned about Bleach. So the drummer, Channing Tatum. Yep, that's the drummer's name. Channing. I guess I didn't write his full name down, so that's either his first or last
Just call
name.
him Channing.
Channing. Um, he was saying that the drums were tuned so low that like he wasn't getting any snapback on his sticks, which isn't something like I've ever thought of in my life, but I guess it makes sense. Um, he said it was like playing on cardboard boxes. And I feel like that really makes sense that Dave Grohl eventually joined this band because as we learned from this book, like he came up drumming on pillows. So
Yeah.
like he treats every drum set like it's cardboard boxes. So it just like seemed like a cool little connection.
Yeah, he beats the shit out of his drum set like every time.
Yeah. And
Like if
Bleach
you
only
watch that SNL Smells Like Teen Spirit, like watch how hard he plays drums in that video.
when he breaks the stick.
He breaks the stick, but you can't even tell because like his performance is that good.
I gotta watch that. I should have watched that when we read the book.
That was like one of my big takeaways was like I stopped reading and watched that and like immediately. And there was like no noticeable stick snap or anything. He didn't miss a beat.
Damn, that's
And
awesome.
he made it sound like it was like this like mortifying moment and like he was like legendary.
That's sick. Well, yeah, I mean, you either keep playing or you don't. There's two types of people. And
Dave wasn't stopping.
no. So Bleach sold 40,000 initially, and then after Nevermind came out, it went
People went back.
it has over 2 million sales now. I mean, that's now. There's a lot of history now, but like it was just like an underground album at the time. And what's so cool is like if you got into Nevermind and you went to Bleach, like I bet there were tons of people who were like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
Like,
Unless I saw them live, then they're like, I need to find out where these other
true.
songs are coming from
Yeah.
because them live was probably a whole other animal. I can only imagine what their shows were like based on like the descriptions in the book.
Yeah.
Like just sweat and angry people
And hitting people with mic stands.
and breaking the soundboard with your guitar.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite stories in there was him hitting I think they said the crowd was getting so rowdy at the stage.
Yeah, they kept bumping into his mic and it was like the microphone was hitting his teeth.
So
He
we
got so pissed off eventually he just like took his guitar and started smashing the sound booth. And they had to put like a giant like piece of plywood over it so it wouldn't do it again.
Jesus. But didn't he also hit a security guard with the mic stand?
Where he was crowd surfing, and then like when he came back, like he was like dancing on stage and then fell backwards into the security guard, and the guy
Uh
shoved him too hard, and like he got like defensive and just whacked him with the guitar, like he cracked his head
oh my
open.
God. And then they had to escape.
Yeah, the guy like got friends to like try to murder Nirvana.
That's nuts. Yeah, Kurt was is on record saying that like he thinks Nevermind is way too clean and it's not an album he would ever listen to.
I think that's why they went with Albini with
Yeah,
In
in
Utero.
utero. Yeah.
In Utero.
He said he said that's like his favorite work they've ever done. He's like everything this band has ever done or tried to do, this is it. Like he said, I've never been more proud of an album like in my life, which is really cool. It's a great album too.
It
Like
is.
I don't know
And
when
their
I
Unplugged is like one of the best acoustic albums like ever,
yeah yeah
far
that's
and
like
away.
a bone chilling watch every time he comes. No, never mind. I was gonna say he comes out really late, but that's the Alice in Chains one with Lane Staley. He like they're like 40 seconds into the first song because there's no lyrics yet in uh
Did Rooster they open with on that one?
I think so. Unless I'm thinking of Nutshell and he just wasn't on the stage for some reason. But yeah. I don't know if they opened with it or not, but the Nutshell performance, I mean, now we're just going down a grunge rabbit hole. Um,
Unplugged too. It's
but
related.
yeah, yeah. And deceased singer of a grunge band from Seattle. Wow. Huh. Look at that.
Full circle.
Yeah, nailed it. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch the Nirvana Unplugged tomorrow at work. Throw it up on the YouTube.
Yeah, that'll be my next one in my Nirvana purge,
Yeah.
purge, splurge, splurge.
Also, um props to me. I've gotten back into working out. No big deal.
There you go.
Yep.
It's good workout music.
Yeah, like I just put on Bleach and like I was I was trying to do something yesterday and I was getting frustrated in my backyard and I had I think it was School On where he's just screaming and I just turned around and like just socked the fence as hard as I can. It was so I'm like, oh, I blame Nirvana for that one. Got a little out of control. No wonder he was swinging guitars. It's a great workout album though, and it's like less than 40 minutes. So
It's really short.
yeah,
Not really
this
short, but short enough.
like my albums, like I like my workouts,
Short.
short and fast. All right, is it Halogens time?
Almost. Just one more last quick note from part two, which I forgot to bring up on our Lost podcast. But I had no idea Nine Inch Nails recorded the Downward Spiral in like the house where the Manson murders took place. That was a crazy story that Dave told.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I was like, wait, why are you talking about this? But yeah, he was
Because he was
saying
like
that.
swimming in the pool that day and like he thought the whole thing was surreal. Like he walks in, there's like they have like a recording studio set up in the living room, and it was Nine Inch Nails making an album.
That's awesome. What a time. What a life.
Right.
Just casually like hanging out.
Oh, here's Trent Reznor.
Yeah, in a serial killer's house.
Yeah.
Wild. Wild.
Very Nine Inch Nails move though. So I wasn't
Yeah.
too surprised.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, on that note, I think it's
yeah.
Halogens time.
Yeah, we're gonna throw it to the Halogens interview, and we're gonna just let that take us out. So we won't see you on the other side, but we will see you next week. Thanks for listening. Here's Halogens. Go see them at the Lane Saturday. We now welcome on a very, very special guest. The whole band is here with us. They sit around talking shit. And they've got a killer hometown show coming up Saturday at the Asbury Lanes that I am very excited for. They are Halogens. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. It's good to see you.
It's good
Thanks
to
for
see
having
you.
us.
Thanks for having us.
Are you guys excited for Saturday?
Very
Very.
excited.
Very much.
So
Have
what's
you played the lanes
yeah.
before?
No,
No.
No.
not the new ones or the old ones.
I played the old ones with my previous band.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
I have not been back since the renovation, so this is going to be my first time back in there.
Really?
I told myself I was never going to go back, but here we are.
It's a good spot. Now that the dust has settled and the wound's a little bit less like fresh, like it's a nice venue.
We'll see.
They have
It's
two very large bars and a bowling alley. That's pretty cool.
Nice. Nice.
And bowling balls nailed to the wall.
We'll see.
You know what? Want to know something about those? I'm sorry. Am I interrupting the intro?
No,
No, that was it. The intro's over.
Those bowling balls. The last time I was there, I was like, "Yo, that's like kind of dangerous." No, what if
Yeah,
those were to
It's got to be
fall?
heavy. Yeah.
They're not bowling balls. They're like
they're not.
bouncy balls. And like the way that they're
Ooh.
painted, you can see if you come to the show on
Frauds.
Saturday and look, you can
Frauds.
see that the holes are painted and they're not actually holes.
So,
That
yeah, you
would
should
still
come
cause
just to see
chaos
that,
if
yeah.
they fell.
It would
Come
be
to
really
see the
funny.
bowling balls, not the band.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come for the rubber balls.
Well, you guys kind of foreshadowed them falling down in one of the many ridiculous memes that have been going up on Instagram.
I've been having a little too much fun, especially like I've been waking up really early recently for some reason, and I was like, okay, this sounds like something that might generate like interest on the internet, and that was the first time and the last time I will ever use AI art generators because that shit's scary.
That was horrifying. Yeah.
The gorilla in particular freaked me
So
out.
scary, right? I was like, maybe it would be like a cute girl, and then you actually imagine what may happen if that scenario were to occur, and it's like, wow, that would be horrible.
Wait, so you just type in like gorilla Asbury Lanes? And then
Yeah,
it-
so it's this app called Photo Leap, and you just type a description of like anything that you want. So I did like baseline ones of just to like test like what it would give me, like rock and roll bands at Asbury Lanes. And it would give kind of just like regular looking pictures. But the thing you can tell is that the people's faces are always fucked up and their teeth are always perfect, and there's too many of them.
And AI can't
Um,
do hands either.
yeah,
That's
it's
always
like-
a big issue.
It's very
Good to
very
know.
flawed. And then the weirder that, because I was like, I'm definitely gonna gradually get weird with like what I'm putting in there. The weirder that you get and the more and more specific that you get, it gets very strange. Like very like dystopic. I don't know if that's a word.
yeah.
I think
Sure.
it is.
Dystopia.
Sure.
Like a dystopia.
I can't
yes.
pronounce it, but I know
We
it's a
all,
word.
we all are on this.
Something like that. Yeah.
So how's it been going like leading up to the show? Are you guys just in like full practice mode, or are you just waiting and pacing until the show? What's the vibe like?
Anyone want
Um,
to take this? I feel like I've been talking a lot.
No, yeah, we've been practicing. We've been working. We've been doing a little bit of writing. We've been mostly
Ooh.
practicing though. But
Practiced last night and this past weekend and the weekend before. Yeah, we've been practicing.
Nice. Yeah, because I
We've
feel like
been practicing.
if you
actually.
practice every single day, like you need a break too, right?
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
will you practice the day before the show, or you take that off?
No, Tuesday or yesterday was our last. So we've been playing together for like almost 12 years, and we just like 2 weeks ago had to rent a practice space for the first time.
Whoa.
But it's kind of cool. It's like keeping us very very focused and productive. And yeah, I think I kind of like that for adult halogens. So yeah, we don't, huh?
Time is money.
Yeah, so
True. Yeah.
we don't really have like the space or availability to practice anymore. But yeah, even we used to, especially me, would be very neurotic like leading up to the shows. Like we have to practice like the day before or like the day of. And we realized every time we did that, we would play like pretty bad at the show. So it's kind of like a superstition at this point. Like, don't practice like the day of or the day before the show because it's usually not good luck.
And I feel like some of our best sets have been when we don't practice.
Yes. The day of practice, though, is just so unlucky. We can't ever do that again.
Yeah, because then if you play really well, you're like, shit, we wasted it.
Exactly. Yeah. You
What
only
am I
get so
gonna
many
do
good
again?
takes.
So you got a pretty stacked lineup for Saturday. There's like 5 bands, I think. 5 or
There are 5 bands, but it's not going to be a ridiculously long show.
That's the hope. We hope to keep it tame.
yeah. So I gotta ask the elephant in the room. Are any of you concerned with Giants Eagles playoffs happening? You're going up against NFL
Dude,
playoffs
I didn't
in
even
Central
know
Jersey.
Yeah, I didn't
I'm
know
I
that.
upset.
didn't even know that.
Now I
And
am.
I was
pretend
gonna
to
Go Birds,
love the
baby.
baseball.
Go
baseball.
Birds.
Set.
Oh man,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Go Birds.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at least in Asbury, there's like where do people watch sports in Asbury? At what's the place across from house?
Ale House.
Ale
At
House.
Ale House, and there's like
Yeah.
not that many. There's like not that much room in there. So
Part of me,
hopefully,
I'm kind of hoping maybe like you said, there's a bar at the lane, so maybe they'll just like have it on. I could just like check in
maybe.
because I'm
I don't
going.
know.
I'm going to the show. The show is
Well,
my priority, but
Nice. Nice.
I will be thinking about the Giants.
You're gonna be watching
Wouldn't
it on
mind
your
if it's
phone the
on.
whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, just find like a nice middle spot, and then I can just.
You know how sometimes bands will like live stream their set so like people at home can watch. Maybe
Yeah.
we can put up a little TV with the game.
Do
so
they have a
people-
projector? Like we can just play
Yes.
it behind us.
I'm
It's on
super
someone's
down.
phone.
I don't know.
Then you get cease and desisted by Roger.
Yeah, it's
Goodell.
true. Yeah.
But if I'm saying this on the record, if they have a projector, I'm so down to do that. Go sports.
I'm gonna be watching the screen behind me the whole time.
Yeah, I try. I don't want to care, but I care a little.
I kind of care a little. I don't even watch football. And now that I know that it's the Giants and the Eagles, I care a little bit.
Yeah, it's Giants Eagles, and you're playing in Central Jersey. Like you're gonna be right in the heart of both fandoms.
Exciting.
Should we make it like a sports night? It's a little soon to the event.
Screw it.
Nah,
This is your night.
Nick, I'm glad you're acknowledging that Central Jersey exists now, finally.
Well, you drilled it into my brain. So
I had to.
we went to school at Monmouth, which I think is, if there's Central Jersey, like that would be it.
That's
Right?
that's pretty
Yes.
much
That
there.
is it.
Yeah.
Right
How many
there.
exits are there total on the Parkway?
That's the most New
170.
Jersey question in the world.
170.
I think you're right. Well,
I think
okay,
170.
105 is a little bit less than like middle, but I know the numbers aren't like exact mileage wise. So
So
They skip a bunch.
yeah,
you guys
they
are
do.
from like Wall area, right?
98, baby.
There you
I'm
go.
98 too.
I am not. I'm from a little more north, but
What's up? And you're an Eagles fan? Come on, man.
yeah. Sorry.
Have you always been an Eagles fan?
I never really gave a shit about football until I went to college in South Jersey. I went to
Yeah.
Rowan.
Oh,
And
that
That is South
a
Jersey.
lot of people down here are Eagles fans, and it was around 2017 when they won the Super Bowl, and it all kind of got swept up in it. So it was exciting.
So
Did you call it
guys-
Asboro too?
What's that?
When my buddies went to Rowan, he always calls it Asboro instead of
Oh yeah,
Glassboro.
Glassboro sucks. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a very boring town. Yeah, it's out in the fucking farmland. There's not a whole lot to do except for drinking. It's it's fun, I guess.
I had a lot of fun at Rowan when you were going to school there.
Yeah, I had fun. It wasn't the best, but it was fun.
And never had a bad time there.
So you guys are making the rounds on the Asbury venues because you've got House of Independence, you've got the Saint, now you've got the Lanes. So what's next? You gotta
Pony.
play the Pony, the summer stage.
Well,
Summer stage, hell yeah.
it's not, but it's the headliners.
It's mostly emo.
The headliner's like so not an emo band,
Oh,
so
no,
I
they're
feel like
not
it
at all.
makes it just not an emo show by default.
Yeah.
You guys fit in good with that though, because you definitely are like emo a little bit, but you groove like so hard. Like I feel like it's not just like
That's what's up.
sad boy yelling over 4 chords, you know?
We used to
No,
want to be
we're
a jam
that
band.
plus Sublime. right?
Plus Sublime. That's
There it
it.
is.
We used to want to be a jam band like so bad when we were in high school. We funny story, we played like the break contest pre Kyle being in the band in high school, and we covered Hump Day Bump by Red Hot Chili Peppers, but
Oh
like
hell yeah.
there's this like
Oh, that's awesome.
crazy kind of like percussion thing that like we couldn't pull off, so we just did like an improvised jam, and like it was not good.
No, there's no way that was good. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, I remember we made a collective decision about the whole jam thing, and we were like, yeah, I don't think this is us, guys. And I'm happy that we don't try to do that anymore. But I agree, we are groovy. The jam like influence is still there, just not so obvious like we were trying when we were 16.
Nice. We're both
So
like,
jam like Fish almost.
we love Fish over here.
Fish,
so
Humphreys, we
we light up
our-
at the word jam.
so yeah, our previous bassist Tim is like a huge like Deadhead Fish like Humphreys, and he got like me, Zach, and Charlie into Humphreys. Like we used to go watch them like a lot in like high school and college. I've probably seen them like way more than any other band I've seen, and I haven't seen them in like 5+ years at this point. But it's cool. I saw a video of them playing live recently actually, and I was like, they're so good. I gotta go back and see them sometime soon.
Yeah, we need to branch out on our jam listening, because we really
Do you
just
know them?
yeah, like I know them, but if I'm putting on like jam music, I'm just listening to Fish. They're my one
That's-
and only.
I feel that way about Humphreys.
Nice.
They're just like, yeah, they just do it for me.
So how come you decided to not be a jam band? Like what led you to
We lost
where you
our
are now?
keyboard.
What did you say?
Yeah, we
Joey?
lost the keyboard.
It's a good
Oh,
reason.
It's so funny.
And we're
That-
like, all right.
That's kind of part of it. We had
That is a big part
we
of
had
it.
this keyboard that belonged to Tim, our former bassist's brother, that like became our band keyboard, and then it just like disappeared. And like this one song had like a 2 or 3 minute long, just like shitty improv like section in the middle where Zach, who doesn't play piano, would play the piano.
I liked it. It was cool.
It was kind of
It was
cool.
pretty sick.
It
For
was
me, it was pretty sick.
It was more the studio recording we got is like kind of good. I'm happy that we captured that, but there were some live ones that I heard that was like, this is super sketchy.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard that. Someone's gonna send me that.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Also we had like a lot of friends in like the Asbury, like Monmouth County jam scene at the time that like were good. UFO Tofu, they don't like play anymore, but like
Great
were-
name.
Great
really.
name, right? They were like an awesome jam band from like around here. And then I think another thing too is that like we were trying to be really complex about it, like using like signals and stuff, and we were all just like, none of us have like the attention span or bandwidth to like do that.
Yeah,
like while we're playing.
I had also been playing guitar for like a month at that point. So like being in a jam band wasn't really gonna be like something I could do for a while.
It's jazz. You're not playing the wrong notes.
That's dude, for me,
No
that was
such
my
thing as the wrong
excuse for
note.
so long. It's like it can sound good.
Yeah, it's the audience that doesn't.
Music theory isn't real.
Mhm.
Oh, you heard it here first.
We were a little too big for our britches. That's a nice like concise way to put it, in my opinion.
Big dreams.
You guys do jam though, like you jam out the end of Windmill like a little bit.
Yeah,
I love that ending.
thank
Yeah.
you. Us too. We get hyped when we play that together, even when we're like alone. That's a fun
Yeah.
practice song.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely do still. I think it's just in like a more refined way. That's something I think like we've all gotten better at with time, is trying to be less like our influences and more so just creating music that's kind of like a combination of everything that we like and want Halogens to sound like, and that's like how it comes out. I also think too, like our so I keep mentioning Tim, like close friend who was like, he was like in our band for the first like I don't know, 7 years or something, and he was a huge like jam person. So I also think like that change has definitely kind of impacted like us moving forward and how the music has been. I don't know if anyone else agrees with that.
Oh, big time.
Oh, I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
agree. Yeah.
Tim was huge with writing too. So like that part changed a lot. Like he helped a lot. But I don't know. I think it changed in neither a better or worse way, just like a different way.
Is it pretty collaborative when you guys write songs, or does someone just bring something to the table?
This is like the more we write, the more collaborative it becomes, but it's like usually been just like a song that I bring to everybody, like, you know, just an acoustic version, very basic, and then everybody just adds their own thing to it.
I would say like
That's all.
for in your being for like your being weird, that was like our first time writing with Kyle, and that was definitely like very collaborative. Like I think for most of the songs on that album, I would say Zach probably brought us a skeleton, but then there were a few, especially like the later songs that we wrote, like Bonfire was the last song we wrote for that album, and I think that one came together like us together, a lot of it. We're working on this new song right now that we've been working on for probably like 3 months, and it's been like all together like all the time, and we keep changing it, and that's why it's like taking so long, but I'm really happy with how it's coming out. And that's like part of what's cool is that like we put out this album like not that long ago, that like we have, you know, it's been a year but not super long, and so we kind of have like the freedom of time right now to just like experiment and like see what we're all feeling. But yeah, we thought this song was like done a month ago, and then we like met up for practice and we're like, now let's mess it up, and I don't think we've ever really done that before.
No, this is the most it's taken.
Yeah,
to
usually
most
once we
work
have
it's
like
taken.
usually once we have like a structure and lyrics, we're like, okay, like sounds good, we're good to go. But this one, we just want to perfect it, and we're taking our time with it, like because of that, I guess. But yeah, it's nice not feeling the pressure.
I always
Yeah,
think
that's
that's so cool when bands do that. Like Green Day wrote like "Time of Your Life" back around when they wrote like Dookie, and like they sat on that song for like 4 or 5 years before like it became what it became. So definitely
I never
something
knew
really
that.
cool.
Damn, yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
know
I
that.
didn't know that either.
That's very cool.
You guys kind of did something similar with was it Buckle, I think you re-recorded for something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Um,
Were you sitting on that like, I would love to like beef this up more, or did it just kind of come to be when you were working on the album or the EP? I forget which one it was on.
correct me if I'm
I
wrong.
think. What were you gonna say?
I think we just started playing it electric live. Am I
Yeah,
correct about that? We just made a
Yeah.
live electric version because that was like the to be completely honest, like nobody really liked songs on that split besides Buckle. But people really liked Buckle. And
Buckle's
wanted
so good. I love
thank you.
Buckle.
I gotta give Zach the credit on that one though. But yeah, I think that's how it happened. Is we just started playing it like a live rendition of it, and it went over really well live. So we were like, okay, this should become like a studio electric song.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just like hits harder with the electric, I think, and like
Um,
kind of has like almost like a country vibe to it with like the slide. I don't know if you're using a slide guitar, but like it feels
Yes,
like you're
sir.
sliding at least.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Started
yeah.
with a beer
Slide.
bottle.
Oh yeah.
even something on the last verse or like the outro lyrics, I guess, from Creature of Habit off You're Being Weird are lyrics from a song from like the first thing we ever put out in high school when we were like 17. I took lyrics from like the end of one of our old songs and put them to Creature of Habit. So like, yeah, we like bring stuff back a lot, I feel like.
That's cool.
Was that kind of off topic? I feel like that sort of tied into
No,
what
not
we
at
were
all.
That
talking
worked,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I
I
like
love that
trailed
you
off
did.
at the end because I
No.
was like, "Oh, I'm fucking up." I
It's
realized.
No,
it's
you're
an
good.
example of you're saving something good for later.
Yeah,
Because with that song, that's a good example. We have like this whole like back catalog that we kind of like disregard like pre the self-titled EP. Just because we recorded the music ourselves, and the quality of the music itself is just not really how we want to represent our band. But we do find like parts of those songs that we're like, wow, this is really sick. And we've even toyed around the idea of like re-recording them, like have Kyle like add his own thing because he wasn't on those songs.
And that EP was like what made me a fan of Halogens. Like that's when I first found these guys,
Yeah,
and I was like, "This
We
band's
need-
cool."
We need Anderson Cooper as a
Yeah,
full
Yeah,
band song.
exactly.
Oh shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You're a
may-
real one.
I may have
Runarounds.
talked to Brian.
That was a fan question.
It was hard to find that song, but I found the
Yeah,
Reverb
I
Nation
can't
page.
believe I'm hearing that right now.
That's really funny.
We were listening to that today. Getaway Car and
Why?
Bromine.
Oh, ew.
Oh,
ew.
shit.
No, man, I love it.
Ew.
It reminds me of when I would listen to the really old front bottom shit on YouTube. Like there's
Yes.
just something
Still on
really
there.
endearing about it. And,
That's kind of how I feel.
love
That
it.
Ew.
the front
I love
bottoms. So at the time that we were recording those songs, we were all just discovering the front bottoms. Holy shit, this is the best thing ever, and it's recorded so badly, but why is it so good?
right?
And now when I go back and listen to our songs, that's how I feel of the way that I felt hearing the front bottoms for the first time.
Yeah, there's something good about it. Something good about the rawness.
It's
It's
so
loud.
with new music, that's something we've kind of talked about is trying to have maybe a little bit different of a production style than we've had recently, because I really and I've heard other people kind of the rawness of those recordings in comparison to the more polished stuff. I personally think that maybe a happy medium somewhere in the middle is good for me personally, and what I think is important about production quality. But it is nice that that's so cool to hear that you listened to that today. Thank you.
That is so cool.
Really liked them. Really enjoyed all those songs. The bass was killer.
The bass is so loud.
I know, but I play bass, so I love to hear bass.
We're big bass fans.
We'll pass the message along.
Yeah, and Anderson Cooper it gave me goosebumps. The lyrics, I know it you
Dude.
might look back and be like, oh, I don't know, but it's just I
No,
don't know.
that
I
song
like it.
specific.
I like it a
That
lot.
song specifically, all the time I think about, because at 18 or 19 or whatever we were when we wrote that, the lyrics are we're too old, and now I'm 28. And I'm oh, this is so gross and old. This is so much worse.
I didn't know what old was.
I think I
Yeah.
brought that up. I think I said at the time, did you feel you were, because the song's about Zach failing a drug test to work at CVS. And I was and we were 16. And I was was the song about being too old to fail a drug test at 16? Or was it about being too old for the rest of your life at 16? Because that's a pretty heavy difference in the
It's
meaning
deep.
of the song. I don't know if you ever confirmed that for me.
No, I don't think I understand the question.
I think never mind. I don't want to talk about what I was going to say. Never mind.
We don't want to have existential crises.
Yeah, that's fine.
But there's I was I've been listening to all your music, but I think it was 2 years ago you were saying you're happy to be alive, and then 1 year ago you want to sit around and die, and I'm what direction are these
Yeah,
guys
dude,
okay?
shit changes.
It's
These
peaks
guys-
and valleys, man.
Trust me. I know.
Life is a roller coaster.
Peaks and valleys.
That's when the song's coming, but not how you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing that I joke about with my wife a lot is that halogens are my best friends, and I know nothing about any of their personal lives.
I think
And
about
the
that
way-
sometimes.
And the way that I find out information about your personal life is through Zach specifically, is about through your songs and
Yeah.
what they're about. And yeah, my interpretation is that if you compare Happy Hour to You're Being Weird lyrically, it seems there's maybe more focus on oneself in the
Yeah.
full length. That's what I've observed.
Yeah, I've become pretty narcissistic recently. No,
That's
I guess
Songs-
so. Yeah.
The songs are more inward facing when you're happy in your personal life, I think.
Yeah. I guess there's.
This
Less
is now a
time
therapy session, is what we're doing.
I know.
This
That's
is-
what I'm okay, I can try to think of something funny to say.
That's-
or
well,
we
that's-
can really get into this. I don't
That's
know.
that's what this whole genre is. It's just
Yeah.
you
Hard
just-
on your
Therapy-
sleeve.
Therapy
Yeah,
that everyone
exactly.
hears.
yeah, and you just keep it vague enough while also being weirdly specific, and then it feels really relatable.
Yeah, vague enough. I wish, because like sometimes it's a little too like just. I've always had a problem where like I write something and I'm like, oh, that's a sick
That's
like lyric,
incredibly specific.
and and then it comes to playing it live, and I'm like, oh, I can't say this. Like I can't. My mom's gonna hear this. People I know are gonna hear this. Like, yeah, that's funny. I mean, even for a while when we started playing music, like a long time ago, cursing was something where I was like, I can't curse. My mom's gonna come to these shows. Like
He would
for
literally
real.
edit the lyrics to our songs live if his mom was there, and I would
Yeah.
just, I would be
Like cover
so
the
real.
mic.
Yeah, no, I'd like censor myself, like, you know.
You got to do like weird fill-ins like they do on FM radio.
Oh, you did
Yeah.
have a couple funny ones.
Yeah,
I don't remember any of them specifically, but there was one that I was like, okay, I'm not mad that you're cursing. That was funny, or that you're not cursing. That was funny.
Yeah, I'd have to go through them again and think about it, but there were some. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. She shouldn't have been going to the shows anyway, though. They were not for her.
She's got no business being there.
She's got no business being at a VFW with like 30 drunk teenagers.
I'm just gonna be the one to say it. I don't think we ever played a show like that when we were teenagers.
No, I was trying to. The time I'm thinking about mainly is the Toms River VFW that actually had
Our
like
first show.
5 people there.
You guys.
But I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
just the
couldn't think of a
band, yeah.
number quick enough.
They it was at East Dover Fire Hall in Toms River. They used to have like really sick metal shows there in high school, and then we booked our first show like through the metal promoter, and it wasn't a metal show, and there was nobody there. No, a few
There was
people.
30 people
There
there.
was, like,
There was
30
probably 30 people there.
I-
Charlie, there was like 30.
So there, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but there's actually a prog metal band from Texas named Halogen, which I discovered on
Shut up.
YouTube while
By
watching the
accident.
videos. And I'm like, this song sounds a lot different. What's going on here? And
Wow.
it was Halogen. So
We're gonna have to
I
fight
know.
them.
Did you tell
Yeah.
him
Got
to
to tour with
stop?
them.
cease and desist.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can tour with them too. That's probably a safer bet.
I actually didn't tell anyone in the band this, but Christian from A Boy Named John texted me. He works in music. I don't quite understand what he does, but something with like helping bands set up like profiles online for like distribution. And he told me that another band named Halogens contacted him for like assistance,
Stop.
and he thought it was us and got like really excited, but also was confused because he was like, why do you need my help? You're already on Spotify. And so there's an
Cease and
imposter
desist.
Halogen somewhere out there that's looking for our friend's help. And
Cease and
that's kinda
desist.
messed up.
What are the odds? It's such a random word.
We gotta shut that shit
that
down real
we
quick.
put no like real thought or meaning behind. Like, I mean, I just can't believe that other people chose the same word.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll survive.
We'll survive, and we'll always be the bigger, better ones, and we'll always devour any new halogens that tries to start. But
That's
like,
what's
it's
up.
still just weird. Yeah,
That's right.
that's right.
So
Spotify is like a tiny pond, and we're like a big fish.
We're the big
just
fucking
sucking up
fish.
all the
That's
halogens.
right.
we were looking at your song counts. Brett, weren't you what were we
Yeah,
looking
so
at? Yeah.
the Backwoods has like 258,000 listens, and then like number
Yeah.
2 is like 60.
Shout out
It's
to
like
Anthony
we were wondering if
Fantano.
like
Yeah, were you guys on like Madden or something? What happened?
yeah, that's what we
with
were
the
thinking.
Backwoods?
Yeah,
Or, like in some video game.
you guys came prepared with your numbers. I
Yeah,
don't
you,
think
that was good.
Damn, dude.
Y'all
I
did
had, to
your
write, I had to write that one
research.
down to
Yeah.
remember, but
We love
You're
looking
letting
at
me know how
Spotify
many
numbers.
numbers
It's so
we got.
fun.
No, we were featured on like a new music Friday on the Needle Drop, right? With Anthony
Oh.
Fantano.
So we got doubly lucky with that song. We got on
For real?
Anthony. Yeah, we got on
Whoa.
Anthony Fantano's page for like I literally just
Wow.
replied to a tweet with like a link to our song,
It
and
was
he
like a
just
user
scrolls.
submitted, yeah.
Yeah, he just scrolls through like roulette and just picks them. I don't really even like watch him. I've just seen like a few videos, but he picked it, and I didn't know for a while. Another band hit us up and we're like, "Hey, are in this video," and people generally liked it, which was cool, and it definitely upped our listens a lot. But then we also got like a Spotify editorial playlist, and that the specific playlist that we were put on, it doesn't like remove you. You stay on the playlist indefinitely. So we just keep like getting more plays from being on that. It's definitely slowed down a lot, like I would say over the last like year, but I do check every once in a while. And that song like continues to be the highest streaming song consistently because it shows in the stats that it's like from the editorial playlist. So crazy how that stuff works. We did not get any like of those playlists for You're Being Weird, and you can see like in the play counts like how it affects like the album as a whole.
It's honestly kind of rude of Spotify not to do that again.
I
But
was-
I'll give you like your $2 for all those streams.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
How much do you guys pay attention to stuff like that, like the numbers and everything? Is it something you look at, or is it more just like you're doing your thing, and if it picks up traction, that's great? Like, because I get torn with it with the podcasts, where like I
So
want to look at numbers all the time.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like, oh, sorry.
No, you're
Like
good.
I'm always compelled to look, but then I get so wrapped up in the thought of like, oh, it's gross to care. Like I shouldn't care at all. It's not. And then like, and I also don't have Spotify, so like it also helps to
That
not have
helps, yeah.
Spotify.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm conflicted. I usually don't look just because I don't like ever go on Spotify, but I don't know.
I look every once in a while, but I really don't care.
I
Doesn't
think I
matter to
used to.
me.
I think I used to be the only one with like access to those accounts at first, and I used to be super into looking at that, but not anymore. Like when we drop something new, I'll be like, "Oh, where are we at?" But
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I looked more right after the album came out, but now I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
I used to be super neurotic about it. Like I tend to just be that way about our band sometimes when I'm trying to be better. But yeah, I think especially like when You're Being Weird came out and we saw like pretty quickly that like it was not getting picked up by editorials, and therefore like just the exposure that it was getting was a lot less, and that definitely bummed me out. So I just like kind of stopped because of that. But now I'll go back every once in a while, and it is nice to see that like people do, like any amount of people listening is nice.
Yeah.
And I also think it's important to keep in mind that like the monthly listeners and like however many people are listening to you, that's like probably, I don't know this, but most likely inflated like when you're on those kind of playlists, because who knows really like how many people are skipping over the song or like actually listening.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, there's less plays on our current album, but I assume those are people that like actually sought it out and like wanted to listen to it because it's not on some like massive playlist.
Yeah,
Exactly.
a lot of times on those playlists or Spotify just like sends me off into like the stratosphere after I finish an album. Like I'll hear a song I like, and then I'll go listen to the band. So like I'm sure that happened plenty with you guys being on that playlist. And then like you do a lot of features on your albums, which is pretty cool. So like hopefully that like shares listeners between, because like I went and checked out pretty much all the bands that you guys featured on You're Being Weird.
See,
Did you check out Sentient Moss?
Yes, Brian's been telling me to listen to them.
Yeah.
They're
for
so
a
good.
Aren't they the
while.
fucking best?
Yeah.
They're the
Yeah,
best.
and then you mentioned Boy Named John. I work with Nick Spillert.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
Oh, nice.
yeah, and I know
They're
they played with you guys at, was it House of Independence?
yeah, for the
Yeah.
our
Mhm.
You're Being Weird release show, which
Yeah.
I kind of like not I didn't bully. I was very nice. I was persistent in trying to get A Boy Named John's first show back to be our show. Because they hadn't played, they've all just been super busy. I'm pretty sure like most of the members of that band like work in the live music industry, which is obviously hard to play in a band at the same time. So they hadn't played any shows like after the pandemic came back, and then we were supposed to have the original release show for that in January, had to cancel or reschedule because of COVID, and then we had an open slot, and I was like, Christian, come on, like I would love so much if you guys did this. But yeah, I worked with Josh from A Boy Named John at the dining hall in college, and that's how I like met all of that band. They're very, very nice people.
Nice. Yeah, Nick's a great guy too. And then while we're on the topic of features, I know we talk about Brian a bunch, but you have Grin and Bear on Carcinogens, which like it's a very like light feature. Like, is he doing background vocals there? Because I try to find him and I'm like, I think it's here,
It is.
But,
It's quiet.
Yeah,
He's
but
doing the high harmonies.
y-
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
But he
sorry, you can go.
no, you go. You're good.
Well, I just wanted to ask about that song because it is different than like all your other songs. Like, is that like a drum machine happening on it or like some sort of electronic thing?
Yeah. So it's like that song was that before the pandemic? It was like right around the pandemic, and it might have even I think that was probably when we were not seeing each other.
It was
I can
before.
I think before.
I can
No,
tell
you're
you
right.
in 20 seconds because I posted a clip of me playing it on Instagram. So I can tell you when I posted it.
Well, I was gonna say we know it's before because we always talk about how it has that mask line, and it was right before the
Oh,
pandemic.
motherfucker. That's right.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's right. There's
And we
a
were like,
line
now
about
everyone's
the
gonna think it's
masks.
about the fucking pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn. I
Taking a
forgot all
stance.
about that.
Yeah. Now we're making a fucking political
Okay,
statement.
we got it. We
It's-
drew the timeline back. It was pre-pandemic. So
It was
yeah,
I don't even need to look at Instagram.
I think
Fuck that line.
I've always been
what's the line?
Put on the
Exactly.
mask, right?
It's promised my mask won't come down. And it's
Okay,
like,
yeah.
that's fine. But
Zach
least-
is
I just
definitely
don't like-
not a COVID denier. Zach loves PPE.
right. I just don't like the concept of writing about COVID. Like I think
Yeah.
that takes me out of like any song, or like it's been in shows and shit too. And it feels weird to me. And I don't like, I don't know.
Just pull
Maybe
a
I'm a little
well,
hypercritical.
just pull a Kanye and re-record it and put it back out. I know we can't really talk about him anymore, but
no, bleep that out. Somebody bleep that
He's
Careful
not
out.
about that one.
But
I don't know other people who live edit their albums. Otherwise, I would have used that as an example.
Well, it's because it's usually a bad idea. You don't do
Yeah.
that.
True.
So was that album like written before COVID? Like the whole album?
most
No,
of
it was written throughout.
Yeah.
A lot of it was written before, but there was at least like 4 songs that came together throughout COVID.
So yeah, so COVID was March. We were supposed to go into the studio, I think, in June, and we ended up pushing back until like the last week of August because we just needed more time from like not being able to see each other. I think from probably March until we went into the studio, most of it, anything that was done, but anything new we wrote like separately. I think we probably only met up like once or twice to like finalize songs like before going into the studio.
Yeah.
Writing stuff in the studio.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was definitely like a interesting, I guess, experience of trying to figure out like, and especially too because this was like like we've all been looking forward to putting out a full length for so long, and it's like, okay, this is like the culmination of like so many years of like hard work, and like we had to cancel it, and now we have to figure out how to do this like and not get each other sick and like just figure it out. It was interesting, but
But we was cooking in the stew though. We-
yeah,
That
We
was up
definitely-
here, right?
yeah,
Timber Studios.
in Bayonne.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Shouts out.
And
Shout
then
out to Adam.
Wait, can I
Yeah,
revisit the carcinogens question really quick because you got me excited that you asked about that.
okay.
I've always loved like industrial metal music, like specifically like the electronic elements, and more recently I've been getting into like different kinds of pop with like those kinds of sounds. So like I wanted to do like one song that was different on Halogen's album. I didn't want to do like electronics everywhere. I just wanted like one song to be the focus of it. So yeah, we actually demoed that out with Brian beforehand, and he like Zach and Brian sent me the song, and I was like, oh shit, like who's doing those harmonies? And Brian just like figured them out on the spot. So we kept the same
great.
harmonies from the demo like on the actual recording, because they were just like perfect as is.
Oh, it's super cool. Yeah, because I don't know the time frame of when his latest album came out. Know why I'm blanking on the name, but
was the very
Last
beginning.
April, right?
Naturally Goes, but because he had one that was kind of electronic-ish on that too. I just thought it was
Oh,
kind of interesting. With
70 times.
Maybe
That was like not
That one-
electronic deep,
yeah.
but that had like
No,
the
it had-
drums were like sort of electronic.
there was
of
this
a
there was
feel.
a girl
Oh, that
was
wasn't even
featured
on
it.
Naturally Goes. Never mind.
I'm looking it up right now because that
Um,
I love that album, but I struggle with remembering the song titles on that album sometimes.
that the one with Sentient Moss?
No, it had
They're
a
on both.
it had a girl singer on it that like had this cool effect on her voice.
Oh, that was probably the one with Faye, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay.
And then he comes in with like sacrifice my
Yes,
yeah,
the
once
porch.
that's like
I don't know how I didn't realize that. Yeah, that song's so sick. And so that is the girl in the song is Trust Fundozu, our friend Faye, and she's also on Creature of Habit. She did the like
yeah.
so there's actually 2 electronic parts on the album, but Faye did that one. Again, like the kind of like crazy glitch electronic stuff, like that's way outside of my element. She came over to my house actually and tried to teach me for that song, and I was like, could you maybe just do a guest feature instead?
Like, what if you just did it?
I was like, yeah, I don't
What if you just
I can do this. That stuff is so overwhelming, man. It's very, very different from playing drums when you have to like figure out each individual sound and velocity like on the
Wow,
computer.
yeah.
It's very overwhelming for me.
So how does something like that translate live? Like, have you done carcinogens live? And do you
We've-
just drum it, or is there like a laptop?
So we've done Carcinogens and Creature of Habit both just once at a release show. I have a little like drum pad that I can both play and I can load samples onto. So for Carcinogens, that song is like half and half, where the second verse through the end on the studio album is both electronic drums and regular drums. So live, I just played the first half electronic and then the second half acoustic because I can't do both at the same time. But then for Creature of Habit, I triggered Faye's sample while I was playing acoustic drums. So it's cool. It's like it was definitely a little tough at that show because I don't have like in-ears or anything. So I was just relying on the monitors and like definitely did not have the timing 100%, but I would love to feel confident enough to play those songs at every show because I think when bands kind of change it up for a second and do that like kind of shift live, it's just like a very good way to maintain attention and also just like change it up.
Like the catch your breath moment.
Yeah, exactly.
I have another songwriting question. In Pretty Enough, is someone else singing the first half of the verse? Like the line like it's been raining. Is that all you,
No.
Zach? It
Yeah.
it just sounds
Um,
like 2 different people to me for some reason.
Oh,
I don't know.
well, sometimes I feel like 2 different people.
Oh
How's
my
that?
God.
But no, it was all just from my perspective.
Nice.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
I've never heard somebody say that before.
I don't know, because I think you just
100%.
come in like a little heavier for the second part, so maybe it just like threw me. But do you
Yeah.
do all the vocals? Do any of you guys like share like vocal responsibilities, or is it
Charlie
Zach?
crushes some harmonies. Charlie's
Also,
been
Taking
filling
Back
them.
Sunday, calling responses?
I want more of that. Yeah, let's
Dude, I'm super
I would
down.
we did that you brought up bromine before, and Charlie and I do like a call and response thing in that at some point, like in the choruses, I think.
Bring it
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
Love calling
I'd be
response.
down. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I think in that part you were talking about where it sounds like 2 people though, Zach, didn't you do like a low octave underneath your regular voice in that
I
song?
did.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
sounds fucking tough.
Oh yeah.
They're strong in
Okay.
that robe and dad shirt, Zach.
You like it?
How old's your kid now?
She's 4. I tried to hold her before, but the camera blurred her out, and then she scratched me and ran away. So
I saw something going on down there. You disappeared into the
Look
Windows
like another
desktop.
person.
that was a Siamese cat running around somewhere.
So, tell me about the Rugrats merch.
Okay, it all started
Rude transition.
when I had this idea that me and Kyle kind of look alike, like twins a little bit, but Charlie also kind of reminds me of Chucky a little bit, and we call him Chuck. And so
I didn't know it was because he reminded us of Chucky.
I don't
I
think I
didn't
ever told you that.
I didn't know that we look like twins either.
Well, I mean, like we don't, but like if you draw us like Rugrats,
That's true. Yeah.
we do. So we're friendly with Alana Hope, who's like an insane artist and does like really, really good like character portraits. So I was like, I just had this silly idea of just like make us look like how Rugrats. I like Rugrats. And they absolutely like crushed that design. Like I got it back and I was like, wow, like I know exactly who everybody is, and this feels like, how do I explain it? It feels like the way that like I feel like we look when we hang out with each other. Like I feel like we're a band that looks like we're best friends. And that's how that shirt looks to me.
Nice. So you're
Will
gonna
those be at the show Saturday?
yeah.
No, those are long gone. I'm sorry.
They're so
Ah.
sold out. Like those orange gym shorts look great.
Thank
They
you.
might get
wearing
me.
them
They might
right
get me
now.
exercising again.
We have this like
Damn,
one
lucky.
we have like one pair of the orange gym shorts that we like can't get rid of. I think it's like a we got two inseams. Like one is like the what most people would prefer to wear for shorts, like a little above the knee. And then the other one is like a little bit longer than we expected them to be, which is why we can't get rid of it.
Just bring them to every show and
we do.
ask the crowd if anyone's like
We should
That's
just
a
give
good
them
idea.
away.
has a
yeah.
longer leg.
Oh,
The pair of shorts that I have is shorter than boxers. When I wear like
Ooh, stand up.
it's
Oh no. Oh god.
Yeah.
Good thing it's blurred out.
Put that away. Might have to cut
Crazy.
that.
I'll believe it. I'll put a censored mark over it.
That's what I was gonna say. That would be so
that
funny.
someone did 28 years ago.
Nice, dude.
I don't get it.
Like a circumcision.
Oh yeah, that wasn't good.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I just-
Saturday's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Anyway,
Got to take away the mic from Zach, but
Yeah.
Wait, so touring, like how far have you guys gone? Like
Pretty far.
you made
we've
it to
gone
Florida? Like you
Florida.
okay, so the East Coast is under wraps.
Yeah, we haven't gone too far up north, but there's like I haven't found too many like punk emo scenes farther north than like Rhode Island personally.
There's a whole
But-
genre called Midwest emo.
Yeah, so further north we
Go
went-
there.
we did a Midwest tour, but it was like barely Midwest with this band called No Dice from Ohio. That the furthest we went for that was Milwaukee, I believe.
Wisconsin. Yeah.
And
That's
yeah, I
far.
remember I remember I was like, okay, we are the furthest from home officially now, and the van is leaking like so much antifreeze. And
That's right.
we took an Uber into Chicago because we wanted to sightsee, and we were like, we'll just deal with it when we get back, and it ended up being fine. But yeah, I had and that van was like under my insurance, under my name, and I was like, oh shit, we're so fucking far from home right now.
Yeah, that
That's
would've
awesome.
been
Then
tough.
you just book shows to like get back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, we went. How did that tour work? I think we did a few shows by ourselves, like on the way to meet No Dice. We stayed in this is the first time we ever did this. We had an off day and we got an Airbnb like spontaneously that was like at this like kind of like cabin in Pennsylvania. Dude, what was the
Straight
name?
out of the 70s.
What
I
was the
don't
name
remember
of
what
the
was called.
town? It was the town had a controversial name.
Oh no.
I don't
You
remember.
have to
We
bleep
might
this
have
out,
to
too.
cut this.
I have to bleep this out too.
It was like men's rights Pennsylvania or something. Like,
No way.
like
Was it
not
really?
that, but
It was
something along
fucking-
those lines of
I was like,
the
I can't
Western
believe I don't remember that.
but it was beautiful. It was at the bottom of this like mountain, and like we just had the best time. And then yeah, we met up with No Dice in Detroit, I think. And they were like super nice. We got along with them like very well immediately. And I think we just played like probably 2 or 3 more shows out west. Usually we would play shows going back home. We played that whole tour was routed around a festival in Ohio. DIY prom, and then we drove back to New Jersey from that festival without playing shows because we had work in like 2 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how things have kind of changed, like with touring for us. Like we haven't toured or really done anything extended since before the pandemic. But our first tour was like 2 weeks long because we just all worked kind of like seasonal jobs at the time. Now it's like 1 week off work with 2 weekends attached, the weekend before and the weekend after, and like you got to get your ass back like quick
That's the most we
if
can
you
get
want to
out of
be
it, yeah.
like alive on Monday. So it sucks, but that's how it has to be.
You see that like changing in the future, depending on how things go?
I don't know. I don't really. So like,
If music
I
starts paying the bills, yeah, I would love
There you
to.
go.
But,
honestly,
it's-
what I mean, this isn't like a good thing at all, but like, with it becoming more obvious like how financially unrealistic touring is, like that makes me feel a lot less pressure about the need for us to do it. I feel like how do I say this without sounding like an asshole? I think we're like a decent band. Like I'm proud of the quality of the music that we put out. But I do feel that like maybe opportunities haven't presented themselves because of the lack of time that we've been able to really like put into touring. And it's just because of work and like our personal circumstances. But now I feel like that people are kind of more on like an even playing field. It's gotten a little bit easier to promote yourself like online without touring constantly. And like, if anything, it's shown me, I think I missed maybe the prime of my touring years, like through the pandemic, because previously I was like, tour. That's like all I want to do. And now I'm like, I really love my bed a lot.
Yep.
Not sleeping in a van.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Luckily, we've always been really lucky with like just DIY shows and like people letting us crash. We've only had to sleep in the van like a couple times.
That's good.
I slept in the van once. Oh,
By
twice. Twice.
I slept
ever.
in the
And
van-
both times it was by choice. Yeah.
I slept in the van once ever, and it was by accident. I was supposed to sleep in the house, and I just fell asleep and got locked
Passed
out.
out.
Yeah. No,
so-
I mean,
sometimes the house you're offered, it's like, all right, maybe I'll just sleep in the van.
Do you
we're
remember when we woke up and the old woman was tucking us in a
Oh,
basement? Like
yeah.
some.
Yeah, that was.
That's a time I wish I would have slept in. The
I
van.
don't remember that.
That sounds terrifying.
You repressed it.
Kyle. Kyle wasn't in the band at the time. This-
Okay. I was like,
okay. Story time. We played this like it was with Man Dancing. We did a weekender with them, and it was this like kind of like hippie convent in College
It was-
Park, Maryland.
Right?
What?
It was like a co-op or whatever. Like
Yeah, it was like a co-op, but like everybody was like super like Wookiee there, and we had
Cult.
played.
You
it
should have
seemed a
busted
little-
out the jam band song.
It seemed like a smoked weed. We love weed and we love each other cult. It like, and we like grow vegetables together and like don't wear shoes.
I
But
guess commune would probably be
yeah.
the word then.
there was
Yeah.
another show
Yeah.
house on the same street that we had been to previously, and we were like, this is fucking crazy. And I remember the previous show was good, and then nobody came to that show. It was just like us and Man Dancing like playing for each other in the basement, and like it was a fun night, but we went to sleep. And this woman, I think her like room was the basement, and she saw that like guests were in her room, so she felt the need to accommodate us, and we like woke up, started fucking tucking us in, and we were like 26 probably at the time. It wasn't like that. No, okay, maybe 24, 25.
No, we were like 24. But I
But, like-
remember her asking us 100 times before we went to bed. She's like, "Do you guys need blankets? Do you need anything?" We kept saying no. We're fine. We're all good. And then still, even after like 3 times of telling her no blankets, no pillows, we wake up and she's forcing them upon us.
An M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember too, the next morning I woke up, and me and Tim would always wake up like really early, and he was gone, and I was like, okay, I gotta go find him, and he's fucking like upstairs with all of like the hippie people, and I was like, we could just leave you here and you would be fine, like you would fit in so well.
We might be there right now.
Those are Tim's
Oh.
people, yeah.
It was really strange, but good bonding opportunity with Man Dancing. I was never a Taco Bell guy before that night. Halogens went to Taco Bell and then decided we needed more Cinnabon bites, so I went a second time with Man Dancing in their van, and that's how we became friends.
Bonding over cinnamon rolls at Taco Bell.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
you had them?
No.
You got to.
What?
You got to.
All right. I'll
Cinnamon
go
delights.
right after this.
Because they got
They're like
two-
80 cents. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
just to be clear, Cinnabon Delights, not the shitty like
No, not the
Fries.
twist.
Like
Not,
the
not,
fry
not, not
rolls.
the, not the
Alright.
fucking packing peanuts coated in cinnamon sugar.
yeah, those are bad.
those are noodles actually.
Yeah, it's literally
Like
fried
ramen
pasta.
noodles.
Yeah,
Deep noodles, yeah.
weird.
awful.
Forget.
Not those.
But the Cinnabon
I'll
Bites,
bring some to the Lanes on Saturday.
Ooh,
Oh,
Ah, shit.
Yo.
Should have said that.
I'm gonna bring my air
I'll
fryer.
hold you to that.
Bring an air fryer to the lanes.
Yeah, dude.
I'm so
No
pumped
way.
for that show. First show of 2023 for me. I
Yeah.
don't know
Oh,
about you
nice.
guys, but I
It's
can't wait. And I've somehow never been to the lanes, which I'm ashamed of. Especially
I
because
feel
we
like-
went to Monmouth. Like it's absurd that I never
Mm.
went to
It
the
was
lanes.
closed for a while though.
Oh, it
Oh,
was, yeah.
I'll go with that. Yeah, I can't wait.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. My first show of the year, I saw Late Waves, Well Wisher, and Have a Good Season at Bond Street with Charlie and Kyle a couple weeks ago, and that was really fun. So that was my first like show that I saw, but this will be the first show that we're all playing.
Nice. Have you played with Ogbert before?
Yes,
Twice.
a while ago we played with Ogbert, Kissies, which has like Luke from Teenage Halloween, and Mover Shaker. They broke up, but they're like a really, really sick band from Michigan that I would highly suggest you check out. So yeah, we played with them at the. Did you ever go to that spot, the Clubhouse in Tom's River?
No. I
I-
maybe heard Brian mention it before.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to it. It kind of seemed to just like fizzle like after the pandemic, but
It was
a
just like
cool-
an art space, right? Like
Yeah, it was an art
wasn't-
space that was like owned by the town. So I don't know if maybe they like reclaimed it because it wasn't being used, or I don't really
They
know.
moved. I remember they moved
Oh yeah,
across
they
the
lost
street
that
to
space.
another
To like a better
building.
space. Well, they moved to a better,
Yeah.
bigger space, and I remember they were doing America Part 2 played that like drive-in show like during the pandemic, and like
Right,
and it was
and they
cool.
put
Like
Oh,
that
they were
on,
on
yeah.
News 12.
yeah, and
That's
like a lot
right.
of people
Yeah.
were going. But yeah, I guess the venue just kind of I don't know. There was something about the
Pandemic. We'll blame it.
pandemic.
On the
There was
pandemic.
some sketchy stuff about the guy that ran it going on. So I don't really know
Oh,
what happened. But we
cut
played
that
with
out.
them
It's
there.
Jersey.
Yeah, we played with them there like
Oh,
before
I think I
Ogbert.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Before really Ogbert was like I feel like Ogbert is kind of like a well-known like DIY band at this point by like most people that like go to local shows. They did not have that kind of like acclaim at that point, so it was cool. I've known Madison and so is Zach for like a pretty long time, and I was like, oh, you're in this band? I didn't know that. Cool. Because they were very new at the time of that show.
You got to ask them if they brought a watermelon to the show on Saturday. Yeah. Yeah.
Is
We
there any
had-
kind of like
in
response I
Asbury.
should expect?
We had a Camp Trash on last year, and they toured with Ogbert, and they brought this watermelon on stage that they were acting like they were going to smash but never smash, and it just became like this whole thing.
That's a good bit.
Oh,
I like that.
yeah.
Sounds good. Now that I know the backstory, I'm into it.
Didn't
Um,
Ogbert smash it eventually, like in Asbury?
Yeah, I think outside the beer garden they smashed it. I think it got smashed.
Like the last night
was
of the tour. Yeah.
Yeah, but they kept bringing it onto stage and not smashing it, and not even acknowledging it. Just
He'd leave like a sledgehammer next to it and it would just stand there.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. The way that I tried to kind of like structure the lineup was having like a different group of like our band's friends that are within the like rock alternative subgenre, but kind of have their own like group of listeners that they'll bring, but also their own sound. And so I think I hope, but I think that there's going to be kind of like a consistent stream of people throughout the night. So I'm excited that Ogbert's like closing it out. I was like I saw the sign today and I was like a little sad that our name wasn't on it, but I was like, honestly, I'm happy that Ogbert's headlining. Like that's how it should be. And I think they're like the New Jersey like emo band right now. So like I'm stoked to play with them, and I'm stoked to play with our other friends too. I think it's going to be a really fun show. Do you guys know Interlove? Have you checked them out?
I listened to
think
like
so.
the first couple songs by everyone on the list, but like not enough to like know much.
Okay, Interlove is like I call them our evil twins, because Zach kind of looks like the singer, but not really, and I kind of look like the drummer, but not really. Zach used to look more like the singer.
Yeah, I
and
don't know
that's-
what happened.
No, the singer used to look more. He grew his hair out and grew a beard.
You both aged.
Bastard.
You just
Yeah.
don't look like children anymore.
Yeah.
I know it sucks.
But yeah, that's how we became friends with them when they were a different band called Table Talk with like some of the same members. But yeah, they are from Long
Literally
Island.
met through Twitter, right? Because
Yeah.
people like were tagging us like, "Hey, you guys look like each
Yeah.
other." Yeah.
Yeah, dude. They like people kept sending me videos. They were doing like some tour And on that tour they
Like,
were
is
on,
this you?
I probably got sent like 4 or 5 posts from different people, unrelated, that were all like, "Bro, this guy's your twin. I can't. I thought this was you. Holy shit!" And then like 3 months later, we were just like on a weekender with them through
It
that.
came together pretty quick.
That's
Yeah,
like
they
how it
emailed us.
started.
Because yeah, John's
The doppelganger tour.
basically
Pretty
that's like
much,
kind
yeah.
of why it started. Yeah, but we hit it off with them like so well. And then I remember we thought we had a curse because every band that we toured with broke up like right
my
after we
God.
toured. Karina, Kyle's old band, Grin and Bear broke up after we toured
No
with them
Dice.
before they got back together. No Dice didn't break up.
Oh, are you sure?
They're just not like active, but they didn't break up.
Okay, well, that's still
Same
kind of
thing.
the curse. They're on indefinite hiatus.
But yeah,
If you're not, prove us wrong, No Dice. If you listen to this,
Yeah, prove us wrong. Roll the dice.
get them.
but they posted right after we toured together that they were breaking up. And we're like, what the fuck, dude? This sucks. Like, we really, really liked these guys. But then they made this new band with John, the drummer, and Ryan, the singer. And they're so good. And so like usually they have us out on Long Island, or we've gone, weekenders elsewhere. And so finally it just worked out that like I was like, hey, I think you would be a great fit on the show, and we would love to like get our friends into your music. So I'm very excited for them, like specifically to come. Do you guys know the band Carpool? They played the Grin and Bear show.
Oh, then yes.
So we had like a bunch of friends from that show. Carpool played that show in June, and then they came back again in like September for Fest. And I remember there were so many people that were like, oh yeah, I remember Carpool from the Saint. Like I came to this show because I wanted to see them again. And Interlove's like touring pretty consistently now. So I'm kind of hoping that that's like the same like domino effect for them. That like if they come back to Asbury a few months from now, there will be people stoked to see them, because I want people here to be stoked to see Interlove. They're
We
a
call
band
that's the Halogens bump. Anytime someone plays with us, they get a little bit of exposure.
That's right.
They get a little bit, yeah.
Does it work
In
on
Asbury.
podcasts?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Hey, can I break up after this episode?
Oh, no.
shit.
Imagine after this show. Well, no, we have to stop.
This is the
them. We just
last
can't,
episode.
We can't put any more bands to death.
Oh man. Yes, Saturday is going to be great. I'm very excited.
I can't wait.
I'll be there with Cinnamon. I forgot what they're called already,
Delights.
but Delights.
Cinnamon delights.
Don't you forget.
As long as when you're at the drive-through, the word noodle or twist doesn't come out of your mouth, you should be good.
You don't want to hear twist. Do not.
I
Twist
never
not
say
good.
noodle at Taco Bell. I don't know why you would ever say the
I
word
guarantee,
noodle
I
at Taco Bell.
guarantee you, somebody has said like, "Yo, let me get them cinnamon."
Let me get some of
noodles."
them. Their cinnamon noodles.
Dude,
It's-
my favorite thing to do used to be if I was going to the drive.
I already know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, dude. If someone was like collecting orders at the drive-thru, I would tell them to get me meat fries. And then I would swear to God that the restaurant had them. I'd be like, dude, just don't worry about it. They definitely have them. And then they would ask for meat fries. And every time the people were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh God, you had to be
So
there.
stupid.
Shit
I
was
feel
great. So
silly that I'm
stupid.
laughing this hard right now.
It's so stupid.
But that's like a core memory that you just unlocked that I completely forgot about.
Oh, me too. I haven't done that in years. Wow.
Oh, and then trying to get Zach on the meat fries, that's always a good experience too.
Is it?
Yeah, I've definitely gotten you before, because the whole point is to get somebody when they're not paying attention. So you're like, okay, one cheeseburger.
Yeah.
What do you want? Fries? Okay, Zach, what do you want? Meat fries? And then you realize we should go on tour. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been too long.
No, you should. Well, you should do whatever you want, but I want more music. Come
We're
on.
working on it.
Yeah.
We're
Is there plans? Like, I know you said you have the one song. What's the new music front look like?
We had studio time booked that we wound up pushing back just because we wanted some more time. So we don't have anything booked right now. Just
You want
because
to make it count.
we realized we've done this previously. We're like setting a timeline for ourselves has worked. For this, it just didn't. And like, we're really not in a rush right now to do anything. So we kind of just all agreed that like, let's just take our time with this. Like, this is really, we put out a full length like a little over a year ago. Like, we have a little bit of time before we need to release something. So
Yeah.
I think we were saying probably like an EP for the next thing. But I guess we'll see.
The
how
meat
it turns
fries
out.
EP.
Yeah.
There you go. Gotta call it that.
And re-record Anderson Cooper because Brian
you
told me
go.
to ask
Unless-
that.
I do want. There are like
Hold on.
three songs that we've talked about, like seriously talked about bringing back, and I'd still like to do that, like a whole EP or like a 5-song release of just
Back from the
revisited songs
dead.
from pre-self-titled.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Right. We had our me, Zach, and Charlie had our 10-year high school reunion this summer, and I think when it was one night that we were together and got a little like, feels strange. We were like, oh, that would be funny to like re-record the songs and do like a high school reunion like EP. That idea kind of like fizzled because I think we started writing new music like shortly after that. But yeah, I'm super down to do that still.
I still do like that idea.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
that's something that's like, again, it's just, when the time is right, that would be fun. Are you guys familiar with our old song, The Hot Zone?
I don't,
am.
I don't think I know.
so. It's
If
pretty
there-
much like what's on Spotify, and then that
Okay.
4 songs on Reverb.
I'm
that I
gonna
was able
email
to
it to
That
you.
find.
Brian showed us. Yeah.
I'm gonna email it to you because that if there's one old
Yay.
Halogen song, that's the song, in my opinion.
Nice.
That just became a movie, The Hot Zone. It was named after a book that I read in 8th grade, and then like last year it became a movie.
Is it
So
about the
we should
book?
all watch it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Oh, then you got to put the song out, and while everyone's googling the movie, they'll get the
Yeah,
song.
you gotta tell people that the
Whoa.
movie's actually based off the song.
Movies
That's a-
based off the song.
That's a song
Big
that I
brain.
think we could like not change anything about and just be like, this is a song we wrote when we were 16 and now it just sounds nice. And like people would be like, okay, you wrote this when you were 16, but it's still kind of cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like that's like I'm typically not a fan of like B-sides. I think I'm just like, if it's not an A-side, then what's the point? But
Call that the Pearl Jam.
like exactly, like I like Pearl
Whole
Jam, and
album
just
of
the
B-sides.
amount of music that they have is just like overwhelming.
Oh,
But I do have to say Hodera put out a really good B-sides album and called it like Besides, which was clever.
that's funny.
they're
They
just-
would do some clever shit like that.
Well, and they're just super good, so of course their B-sides are
Yeah.
fine. But yeah, those are songs that I would like actually feel okay putting out. I think the thing I need to remember too is that like I feel the sense of like embarrassment or like awkwardness about our songs when we were 16. But nobody like
Oh, dude, you're telling me.
you know
I know.
nobody else besides us probably feels that way. I
No, I think that shit rocks.
thanks.
Yeah, I don't mind. I wish we never took them down.
Let's go.
That's
Yeah,
like
put 'em
the
back up.
Put them back.
They still got their old shit up, and it still fucking slaps.
There's the couple that like can't like. There's a rap song about the government from when I was 17.
That,
like,
that one can stay
never
down.
see
We
the
can
internet.
keep
That
that one
can
buried.
never
No,
see the
come on, put it
internet,
behind a
bro.
paywall or something.
Yeah.
No, but yeah,
That's gonna be
okay.
on our new Patreon.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't believe we've never thought of that.
It's
You're the
all
fifth
about
member of the
masks
band.
and how you hate
Right.
them.
Wow. Damn. That's how we because we need to monetize this band if we want to like actually tour consistently. So stuff like that's a great idea. Paywall. Paywall. Advertising sponsors.
Pay
I
us
like
for
a
Taco
songs.
Bell.
A
Pay us for
paywall
songs.
behind individual streams. So like you pay for the song once. And you have to
Isn't that
keep paying.
iTunes? Is iTunes dead?
No, you get to keep it.
No,
though.
you can.
This
yeah,
would be like
don't
you
have to
play it
pay
once.
every time.
Oh, that's kind of like
Pay
like you
per
put a quarter
stream.
in the machine and you hear the song.
Yeah.
if you think about it, that's like
jukebox.
even more exclusive than an NFT.
It's only released
Oh.
on Touch Tunes.
I think
It's
people
the
might
only
like
way you
that.
can hear it.
It's very rare and mintable. I'm trying to use jargon that I know nothing.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
We're not an NFT, man. We don't support that
I
bullshit.
think what I just said was clear enough to. Never mind.
Guys, this has been so fun.
Hey,
Thank
great.
you.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
for
us.
coming
Absolutely,
on.
yeah.
Yeah.
My cheeks hurt from smiling so much.
Same.
I didn't even
I'm
realize
glad
it's
to
been
hear
like
it.
an hour.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I can't wait for the show. Can't wait to see you guys live. Maybe say hi with some cinnamon meat fries.
Yes.
What a combo.
Uh-huh.
Sounds like a plan. I'm very excited to
Can't
get
wait.
the cinnamon meat fries in person.
Yeah.
Watching the Giants game.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
birds.
I'll have you know how they make the pinwheel hats?
I'm gonna
I'm
bleep
gonna-
that out.
Leave
make
the
it-
go bird.
I'm gonna make like a pinwheel hat with TVs attached so that you can watch the game from anywhere that I'm standing.
Oh, great. Yeah, then I could watch the band, but I can see the reflection at least.
Yeah,
There
just
you
not
go.
if I'm playing, because then I'll have to take the hat with me. I'm sorry.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Can't help there.
Well, during like carcinogens, when you just have to press that one button.
That was good. All right. Thank you guys for having
yeah.
us. This was a good
This
time.
is
Yeah.
awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
No problem.
Good luck Saturday. See you there. Can't wait.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
See
you.
you
can't wait.
there. Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
All right. Adios. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks,
You
guys.
too.
Bye.
See ya.